What happens when you face down your greatest fear? Imagine for a moment standing at the edge of a precipice, the yawning chasm below inducing a sense of dread, or perhaps finding yourself in a room filled with spiders, each one scurrying in a manner that sends shivers down your spine. These scenarios may seem vastly different, yet they share a common thread. They evoke fear. Fear, that primal instinct, is a universal experience, transcending cultural, geographical, and temporal boundaries. It's an emotional response that we're all familiar with, regardless of who we are or where we come from. There's no corner of the world untouched by fear, no person who hasn't felt its icy grip at one time or another. Fear can manifest in a multitude of ways. Some of us might be afraid of heights, others might shudder at the thought of spiders or snakes, while many of us dread the idea of public speaking. These fears, though diverse, are all part of the human experience. Yet fear isn't merely an emotional or psychological response, it also has a physiological dimension, a physical reaction that can leave us breathless, our hearts pounding and palms sweating. It's this interplay of the mind and body that makes fear such a fascinating, albeit daunting subject. Fear is more than just an uncomfortable feeling, it can shape our lives, influence our decisions, and even impact our health. But fear, despite its often negative connotation, isn't necessarily a bad thing. It can warn us of danger, prompt us to take action, and even drive us to overcome obstacles. Understanding fear, then, becomes crucial. By peeling back the layers of fear, we can better comprehend not only why we react the way we do, but also how we can harness this powerful emotion. Whether it's a fear of heights or public speaking, understanding the root of our fears can empower us to face them head-on. Fear, as it turns out, is a complex dance between the mind and body. If you liked what you've seen so far, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel so you won't miss any of our future videos. Fear begins in the mind, but its effects extend far beyond that. Fear, in essence, is a psychological response, a reaction of our mind to a perceived threat or danger. This response can manifest in numerous ways. For instance, let's consider two very common fears: arachnophobia, the fear of spiders, and glossophobia, the fear of public speaking. When a person with arachnophobia encounters a spider, their mind immediately recognizes this as a threat. This recognition triggers anxiety, a feeling of unease or worry. The heart may start to race, palms may sweat, and the body may freeze up, all because the mind perceives the spider as a danger. Similarly, someone with glossophobia may feel an overwhelming sense of dread at the mere thought of public speaking. This fear can lead to avoidance behaviors, where the person will go to great lengths to avoid having to speak in public. This avoidance is not due to a lack of ability or knowledge, but rather, an intense fear reaction from the mind. Another psychological response to fear is increased alertness. Picture yourself walking alone at night, down a dimly lit street. Your mind perceives potential danger in this situation, and as a result your senses become heightened. You become more aware of your surroundings, your hearing sharpens, you're more vigilant. This heightened state of alertness is the mind's way of preparing the body to react to any potential threat. But it's important to note, while fear can be unsettling or even debilitating, it's not always a negative response. Fear is a survival mechanism, a primal instinct designed to keep us safe. It signals our brain to prepare for a fight or flight response, to either confront the perceived danger or escape from it. So, whether it's spiders, public speaking, or a dark alleyway, our minds react to fear in a variety of ways. These reactions, while they may seem extreme, are simply our mind's way of trying to protect us from harm. The mind's reaction to fear can lead to a variety of responses, but what about the body? When fear strikes, your body jumps into action. It's like a well-rehearsed performance, a symphony of physiological responses that kicks into gear even before your conscious mind has had a chance to process what's happening. Let's break down this intricate choreography. The moment a threat is perceived, your body responds with an adrenaline rush. This is your body's very own superpower, a hormone that prepares you for immediate action. It's like the body's own alarm system, sending out a high-priority message: danger, prepare for action. This adrenaline rush triggers a number of responses. Your heart rate increases, pumping blood faster to your muscles. It's as if your body is a race car revving its engines, ready to zoom off at a moment's notice. Your breathing quickens, supplying your body with the extra oxygen it needs to fuel this sudden burst of activity. But it's not just about running away. This adrenaline-fueled state also prepares you for the possibility of a fight. Your body redirects blood away from less critical areas, such as your digestive system, and towards your muscles, making them ready for action. This is the famous fight or flight response. It's an evolutionary adaptation that has helped our ancestors survive in a world full of predators and dangers. Imagine a caveman suddenly spotting a saber-toothed tiger. His body would kick into high gear, ready to either fight off the predator or make a swift exit. So when you feel your heart pounding in your chest as you watch a scary movie, or when you feel your palms get sweaty as you prepare for a big presentation, remember, it's your body preparing you to face the perceived threat. It's a testament to the intricate design of our bodies and how they've evolved to help us navigate a world full of challenges. But this brings us to an intriguing question. If our bodies are so well equipped to handle threats, why do we feel fear in the first place? And why do some things scare us while others don't? So, fear can trigger a whirlwind of activity in our body, but why do we fear certain things and not others? Now that's a question worth exploring. Why are some of us terrified of spiders while others have a fear of heights? Have you ever pondered this question? Well, fear is not a one-size-fits-all emotion. It's complex, individual, and shaped by a myriad of factors, including our evolutionary history and personal experiences. Let's start with evolutionary fears. These are fears that have been passed down through generations as a means of survival. For instance, the fear of snakes or spiders. The human brain has been hardwired over thousands of years to react to these creatures because in the past, they posed a very real threat to our ancestors. Even though most of us live in environments where we're unlikely to encounter venomous snakes or spiders, the fear remains etched into our DNA. On the other hand, we have learned fears. These are not inherited but acquired throughout our lives. The fear of failure, for example, is not something we're born with. It's a fear that develops over time, often as a result of negative experiences or societal pressures. We learn to fear failure because we've been taught that it's something to avoid, something that's shameful. But here's the interesting part. Fear, in itself, is not a negative emotion. In fact, it's a protective mechanism. Think about it. If our ancestors hadn't feared predators, they wouldn't have taken precautions to defend themselves. If we didn't fear failure, we might not be motivated to put forth our best effort. Fear prompts us to take action, to protect ourselves and our well-being. However, when fear becomes overwhelming or irrational, it can hinder our growth and well-being. It can stop us from taking risks, from stepping out of our comfort zone, from experiencing new things. It's a delicate balance, isn't it? Fear, therefore, isn't always a bad thing. It can help us survive, but it can also hold us back. Understanding our fears, their causes, and their impacts is the first step towards managing them effectively. And that's what we'll delve into in our next segment. So, stay tuned. Scene script. Fear can be paralyzing, but it doesn't have to control your life. Conquering fear doesn't mean eradicating it entirely. It means learning to cope with it, to stand up to it, and to continue living in spite of it. Humans, after all, are not designed to be fearless creatures. We're designed to be brave, and bravery is about acknowledging our fears and choosing to move forward anyway. One avenue to overcoming fear is exposure therapy. Imagine you're afraid of spiders. Exposure therapy would gradually and repeatedly expose you to spiders, in a safe and controlled environment, until your fear diminishes. You start with small steps, like looking at pictures of spiders, then gradually move to bigger steps, such as holding a spider in your hand. It's like dipping your toes in the water before diving in. Over time, the fear loses its power and you regain control. Cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT, is another effective strategy. It's a type of psychotherapy that changes patterns of thinking or behavior that are behind people's difficulties. For instance, if you're struggling with an anxiety disorder, CBT can help you understand how your thoughts and feelings influence your behaviors. It gives you tools to challenge and change your thought patterns, replacing fear-inducing thoughts with more positive, realistic ones. But let's not forget the simplest strategy: talking about it. Fear tends to grow in the darkness, in the silence. But when we speak about our fears, when we shine a light on them, they often start to shrink. So, find someone you trust and share your fears with them. You might be surprised at how much lighter you feel. Remember, it's perfectly normal to feel fear. It's an integral part of being human. But it's crucial not to let it control your life. You are more than your fears. You are resilient, capable, and stronger than you think. Overcoming fear isn't about eliminating it, but learning to live with it. You're not aiming to become fearless, you're striving to be brave. And that, my friends, is the true victory over fear. Let's take a moment to recap what we've learned about fear. We've embarked on a fascinating journey, unraveling the mysteries of fear, its psychological and physiological nuances, and the strategies to conquer it. We started off by introducing the concept of fear, a primal and universal emotion that has been an integral part of our evolutionary journey. This emotion, as we learned, has its roots both in our minds and our bodies, manifesting in a myriad of ways that can either protect us or hinder our progress. In the realm of psychology, we discovered that fear is more than just an immediate reaction to danger. It's a complex interplay of past experiences, cultural factors, and individual perceptions. We explored how our individual fears are often shaped by personal experiences and the environment we grow up in, making each person's fears unique to them. Physiologically, fear is a symphony of reactions happening within our bodies. From the rapid heartbeat and the adrenaline rush to the fight or flight response, our bodies have been fine-tuned over thousands of years to react swiftly and decisively to perceived threats. We also delved into why we fear certain things. We learned that while some fears are universal, such as fear of the dark or heights, others are more specific, often influenced by personal experiences or cultural conditioning. It's this understanding that helps us realize that fear, while universal, is also deeply personal. Lastly, we discussed strategies for overcoming fear. We learned that understanding our fears, acknowledging them, and gradually exposing ourselves to them can help us reduce their impact on our lives. We also discovered that seeking professional help when necessary is a crucial step towards living a life less dominated by fear. Fear is a part of life, but understanding it can help us take back control. Remember, courage isn't the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. As the video continues, we want to hear from you, our viewers. What are your thoughts on the science behind what scares us? Do you have any personal experiences with overcoming fear that you'd like to share? Maybe you've discovered a unique technique that helped you conquer a long-held fear. Or perhaps you're still struggling with a particular fear and you're looking for advice or support. Whatever your experience or thoughts, we invite you to share them in the comments section below. Remember, your insights and experiences could help someone else in their journey to understand and overcome their fears. And, as always, please be respectful and supportive of each other. After all, fear is a universal experience and we're all in this together. If you found this content valuable, I encourage you to like, subscribe, and share this video. Before we wrap up, we would like to extend an invitation to further your learning and understanding. We have another video that you might find quite interesting. You will learn about why some people exhibit evil behaviors. Click on the video thumbnail that's on the screen right now to watch the video. Thanks for watching, and remember, your learning journey doesn't end here.